Hello, everyone. We are the third largest debtors to, what do you call it now, World Bank. We are not the third most developed in the world or anything. See, let me even start from somewhere. First of all, I am one person who totally believes that debt, to correct basic, to borrow money, it's a good thing to do. Especially when you're using them for good project. So they are what they call good debts and bad debts. Bad debts are those that you use to finance assets, you use to get something that is going to work for you. Bad debts are those that you use to finance, liabilities. And especially in the context of Nigeria, the ones that are stolen, the ones that are looted, the ones that are conduit pipe, that go into the pockets of individuals, they enrich their families, they enrich themselves. Then we, the citizens, at the end of the day, we are just left impoverished, we are left suffering, we are left with bad governance, we are left with, inflation and all of that. Right now, World Bank, as the figures stand right now, Nigeria is the third largest debtor. Let me go to parallel facts that has something on this. It says Nigeria advances to third largest debtor to World Bank agency as Tinubu government, illegitimate government by the way, continues its spending spree, raises loans to $16.5 billion. And at the end of the day, you're sitting there, you can't see things that these monies have been spent on, but you can see individuals whose lives has improved within this whole period. Nigeria has risen to become the third largest debtor to the World Bank's International Development Association under Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with the country's debt reaching $16.5 billion as of June 30, 2024. According to the World Bank's latest financial disclosures, Nigeria's debt exposure to the IDA has witnessed a substantial 14.4% increase, escalating from $14.3 billion in the fiscal year 2023 to $16.5 billion in the fiscal year 2024. So you see, within the space of 1 year, see the increase that had happened. This marks a $2.2 billion increase from the previous fiscal year, where Nigeria held $14.3 billion in IDA debt, positioning it as the fourth largest borrower at the time. The significant rise in borrowing reflects Nigeria's ongoing efforts to tackle economic challenges, including infrastructural development, poverty alleviation, and social investment programs. Let me just take a pause here and say that this social investment program has really become a conduit pipe in Nigeria, where money is siphoned. You're told that so billions of people have been given money. You actually never see these millions of people. You really don't see the statistics behind it. You don't see people who are telling you that they've benefited from these programs that are being done. And then they have this, especially with all of that conditional cash transfer that we're doing. Because with cash, how do you know who was giving what? How do you know whether this money actually got to the people? And it's been such a cesspool of corruption. This this particular, what's the name of this ministry again that has social whatever welfare and all of that, where poverty alleviation and stuff like that. We saw the former minister Sadiya Farouk, the allegation, the billions that have been stolen. You're seeing people attached to them, they're saying they're stealing billions. In no time, Nigerian politicians are going to, or an elected official and also appointees are going to graduate to stealing trillions. Because billions is no longer, it's just mere figures now. So they're going to graduate to that one. That's the level at which we're going to. And so if you're talking about infrastructural development, where really are this infrastructural development? You see, most of the time there are big, huge, bogus, projects that are put on ground, because it makes it easier for why these projects are being done, for money to be siphoned, for money to be taken away, and all manner of things. And so on the things that you're really looking for, like to see an impact in terms of education, in terms of quality, improvement of the quality education, not building of schools, because that's another thing. Instead of focusing on how do you get teachers into the classroom, how do you get quality teachers, how do you get the curriculum to be revamped, how do you get teaching materials down to where students are going to get this thing, rather what they won't do all of those things, because those things are not places where you can siphon huge amount of money, but they will spend time building big buildings of schools. They will spend time building the walls of school. They will spend time on all of these other things rather than the things that will really bring development to the people. If you talk about the healthcare system, you're talking about the primary healthcare system. How do we get doctors to be able to stay there, paid very well, and stay in most of these places? How do we get nurses that would really, give people the healthcare that the healthcare services that they need? How do we get drugs into this place? How do we get equipment? How do we get the people at the grassroots being able to access primary healthcare before we go on to the secondary and tertiary healthcare? So you find out that these things are not things that they focus on, because these things are not the things where you can easily pack money and go away with it. So most times these loans are collected and they're used for these things, and at the end of the day, you don't see what they're being used for. However, the increase also raises concerns about the sustainability of the nation's growing debt burden. We have a huge debt burden in Nigeria. As of even 2015, we were already borrowing to service loans, and for a nation that is borrowing to service loan up to now, and of course the borrowing has increased, we've gotten to a place where the monies that we're earning, it's not even enough to pay salaries, to take care of basic things. We're borrowing. You would expect that because we're borrowing, that the cost of governance will be reduced to almost the barest minimum. But that's not the case. The problem that we are seeing in Nigeria is that again and again, the cost of governance is increasing over time as these people just go on a spending spree. The Tinubu administration, illegitimate by the way, which assumed office in May 2023, has been actively securing, international funding to support its ambitious economic and social reform agenda. In the fiscal year 2024, Nigeria received at least 2.2 billion from the World Bank, further underlining the country's dependence on international financial aid amid domestic economic difficulties. Compared to other major IDA debtors, Bangladesh remains the largest borrower, with its debt rising from $19.3 million in 2023 to $19.3 billion in 2023 to $20.5 billion in 2024. And you can see Bangladesh, what they're doing in terms of their industries and all of that. Borrowing, like I said earlier, it's not the problem. It's what you do with the monies that are borrowed that is actually the problem. Pakistan holds the second position with a stable debt of 17.9 billion during the same period. India, previously the third largest borrower with 17.9 billion in 2023, saw its IDA debt decrease to 15.9 billion in 2024, allowing Nigeria to move ahead. Other IDA borrowers include Ethiopia, which saw its debt increase from $11.6 billion in 2023 to $12.2 billion in 2024. Kenya and Vietnam each have debts of 12.0 billion, along with Tanzania, Ghana, and Uganda. These countries make up the top 10 IDA debtors, collectively accounting for 63% of the IDA's total exposure as of June 30, 2024. As of March 31st, 2024, Nigeria's total debt to the World Bank, including all loans, stood at 15.59 billion, according to the Debt Management Office, DMO. Despite concerns over rising external debt servicing costs, the World Bank may approve an additional 4 loan projects for Nigeria this year, potentially adding $2 billion to the country's debt portfolio. And for me, this is such a major problem, where we have the World Bank continuously give countries who they know the monies are not being used judiciously for the greater good of the people, and they keep giving them loan, and becomes a burden on the country and the people. At the end of the day, you're wondering, is World Bank really there to assist the people, or is it there to ensure that countries are burdened, countries are forever beholden, and they don't get to grow and develop as they should? Thank you so much for watching.